Greetings, comrades. I'm Herbert Erpaderp, and I've decided to play some workers and resources. I've been playing a lot of this game on stream lately, and I kind of felt like playing it in a way that would probably be a little bit less fun for streaming, though still fun for me, and I figured why not make a video series about it. So, welcome to Derpograd, and in particular, the city of Stinkergrad.
Why is it called Stinkergrad, Herbert?
Mostly because it's based around a garbage processing facility. Ew, stinky. Here's how I'm playing. And to be preemptive, no, I don't care about how you want me to play, or how I'm not doing something the optimal way, or whatever meta workers and resources players have. I just don't care. I'm having fun with it. Anyway, I've built this city, and it has more or less everything it needs to grow and expand. From this point on, I'll be building pretty much everything with the construction office, demolition office, and the railway construction office, unless it's an emergency, or it just amuses me, I guess. I built the city up to this point because, well, I just didn't think it would be much fun to build the whole thing right off the bat with the construction office. So I built myself a basic functional city. There's the beginnings of a steel industry, but no coal yet. The garbage dump is definitely a bit overkill at this point, but it should be a good way to recover resources, and also, mostly, I just think it's kind of neat and fun to have a functional garbage collection system. There's also the various things we need to construct things, like the brick factory and prefab panel factory. The only things we have to import are steel and mechanical parts, and I guess a bit of coal to get the concrete going. I'm not playing the game on the most difficult mode because I'd like to have fun, and in my opinion, needless tedium isn't fun. Also, I'm not interested in min-maxing or teaching other people how to win or whatever. There's plenty of other people making videos about that kind of stuff. I've got things like water and heat switched off, but fuel and electricity are on. I started with 10 million rubles, and we're now down to a little bit over 5 million. Anyway, let's begin. The construction office is pretty well equipped. We used a bunch of those filthy capitalist dollary-doos.
Herbert, I don't think they're Australian dollars.
Whatever they are, I used them to buy a bunch of trucks and equipment. I figured it was probably a smart first step to upgrade the road to the border town of Garbage Dump. Classic Soviet name, that. It made sense to do this sooner than later, because pretty soon trucks are going to want to start accessing the border to import stuff and send me broke. Can't have them waiting. Here we see the famous Derpogradian disappearing paver trick. Impressive. I knew this was going to be slow going, but I didn't think it would be this slow. Good thing they're not getting paid. While that happens, I figured I might as well find some oil, and that's not going to be a challenge. There's no shortage of oil on this map. I can't remember if I intentionally built the city over these oil patches, but here we are. This one, just out of town, can be placed with no issue. And I suppose I don't really need to, but I also wanted to get this oil, which is in amongst all of this industry. How convenient. The good news is, the only thing blocking it was a simple path. This is a perfect little project we can use to test out the demolition office. So they bring their little excavator over and rip up the path, and the garbage is taken to the recycling facilities to be used in future, more glorious constructions. Or that steel could be sent over the border to line my pockets. I mean, for the betterment of our nation. Yeah, that's what I mean. There isn't really a lot or anything to get back from demolishing a dirt path, but I did want to check to see if it would change the walkability of these industries. It sure didn't. Good. It's important for my workers to be able to walk to work. It's good for their health. Breathing in pollutants from all the industry? Well, we have to keep the hospital in business too. The pump jacks are placed and eventually they'll get built. I don't think they're too high a priority yet though, so now the construction office has something to do. But it needs more. More!
No, Herbert, we're really quite happy to rest.
Being that the workers are not happy to rest, I figured it would be pretty good to have a farm. I would eventually like to have my town stop buying food and be self-sufficient. Obviously, I'm not an expert on how farms should be set out, but I've placed a medium farm, a dump for solid fertilizer that we'll bring up from the town, and a tank for liquid fertilizer, which I suppose will have to be imported until I can get a chemical factory going. I've also placed a fairly big silo with a rail connection. I do like my trains. Eventually, the road crossing to the border was completed, at least this little bit that actually connects to the border. Any vehicles going here still have to use that dirt road, so it's painfully slow, but it does work. The construction office sent a bus to pick up some workers. There weren't enough local workers, they were all busy working in the garbage dump and hospital and whatnot. For some reason, people with shovels is a better option than a bulldozer for this kind of work. Don't ask me why or how, but it must be true, otherwise they'd be using a bulldozer. At some point I realised if I want to get anything built, I'm going to have to import some coal, and that means trains. Look at that amazing track work. At the moment I only want coal to make some cement, but as a byproduct, we're going to get some bricks and prefab panels out of it too. We only need one train load of coal at the moment. I'm sure the train driver is happy to just sit there waiting for however many days or weeks or months it is until we need him again. We're not going to pay him for it, but he is going to stay there. Anyway, with coal, we've now got some concrete, and because I'm a very serious, mature, not at all childish adult, I take no pleasure in sitting here watching the cement trucks run back and forth to the farm, and by the time they get there, it's around midnight. The construction office likes to work round the clock. They're very happy. I also decided to change the paint scheme on the cement trucks. The red stripy one is way better. This is important. There's never a dull moment in Stinkograd. Right now, there's a police chase. Some young punk must have stolen this roller from the construction office and, oh, it's just going to fuel up. Somebody, I'm not going to point fingers, but somebody forgot to tell the local distribution office to distribute fuel to the construction office. With the border open again, fuel was promptly delivered, for various interpretations of the word prompt. My leadership has already improved efficiency. My skilled leadership has also determined that we need an export, and just about any export will do. So, in order to export some boards, I spent more money on this train than it's ever likely to earn exporting boards. We could also use it to export bricks and prefab panels if we want, so that's probably good. Almost immediately, the board storage yard caught fire. Fortunately, the Derpograd Fire Department has some of the most skilled firefighters in the entire local area, who know all of the most advanced firefighting techniques. These big firefighting tankers seem like a pretty good choice. I don't know that they actually are a good choice. They put the fire out, so that's probably pretty good. In the meantime, work slowly continued on the farm. This is definitely going to take a while, but it is kind of fun to just sit and watch the little construction machines construct. That's probably enough for now. I'm going to continue this series until either my nation fails or I get bored with it, so if you like it, good. If you don't, you've probably already gone elsewhere. Good. If you want to comment and tell me how to play and why I'm being suboptimal or whatever, I guess you can, but I don't really care. Feel free to subscribe and check out Patreon and all of that jazz. And of course, tune in next time to find out if the farm gets built, or if the glorious nation of Derpograd somehow loses all of its rubles, and the glorious, not at all corrupt leader with the strangely bulging pockets mysteriously disappears. Thanks for watching. Farewell.